It's another Tuesday news day. Welcome to Golden News. I'm Adventure Argonaut. And let's see the streams running. So I will discuss some news and social issues from the passing week. As long as I confirm that the streams are all running. Yes, they seem to be. Okay. Let's get to business. So first news is that Donald Trump is working at McDonald's, or rather doing a photo op or something there, which is like well, personally, I don't consider it like a very interesting, like important news, but it's sort of, I don't know, fun, I guess. Yeah, here you can see him doing stuff, and some people are complaining that because some people complain whatever Trump does is horrible crime against humanity or something. There's personally, my feeling is that he could be like doing something more relevant, because like if I was a American voter or something, I'd be more concerned about some of his policies. But I'll get to that later. But on one hand, it is sort of funny because I think Kamala Harris claimed that she's worked in McDonald's, but it appears to be a lie, maybe allegedly, and now Trump is sort of um, calling her out and saying that now he's worked longer at McDonald's than her. Like if he actually did some actual work during his time in McDonald's. I don't know how long he spent there, like an hour or two, or a whole day. I'm not sure. But so okay, I guess he handed somebody at least their French fries, but maybe they were paid. This person, the customer, maybe they were paid to be there as a sort of actor. Not sure. Because some people pointed out that his people have tried to assassinate him like twice in the past few months. So I guess this McDonald's cannot be really open to the public and stuff, in terms of all that. But it is sort of funny that he's certainly more relatable to any actual human being than Kamala Harris, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the ideal choice. But there's this funny comic strip somebody made. So this Apu falls down. Trump hands his fries and says, "That was quite a fall, bud. Hope the new meal helps." Yeah, I cannot do impersonation of Donald Trump, so not gonna try. It would be embarrassing for all mankind. But like speaking of the policies, like Trump, he said, "I'm for Israel first." Trump backs military aid for Israel. That was just a year ago when the current conflict. There have been many conflicts, but the escalation between Gaza and Israel started a year ago. So it's like and Trump is not an exception in that sense, that he's an American politician who really seems to love Israel. And personally, because I'm from Finland, I don't really understand this. Like, why are you so obsessed with a foreign country on the other side of the world, on another continent? Like, why is it like the key to political power in your country? Like, I find it odd. Like, just imagine any other society, like in ancient Rome, a politician said, a senator said, "I'm for Carthago first. I would have no trouble working with Hannibal whatsoever." Like, it's weird. Like, is there any examples of this kind of behavior in history, like the relationship between America and Israel, because they say it's the best, their closest ally, but what has actually Israel done for America except sink the US's liberty? I don't really get it. It's like when you look at the British Empire, you can say in some sense it's similar, that London or England is the small island nation in Europe, and half of the world was controlled by England, so all the power and resources flowed into England because of it. But that's of course that's the heart of the empire, so it's it's more rational. But like what did Israel do? Like, did they conquer? How did they conquer this? How did they create this empire? Since if we take that line of thought, it would empire is the head of some kind of global empire. Well, there is this article: a Trump victory may break the U.S.-Israel alliance, and yeah, it basically says both Kamala Harris and Trump are very pro-Israel, and it said like, what did it say? Yeah, the Republican Party is strongly pro-Israel, and the Democratic Party is strongly pro-Israel. It's like take your pick between Coke and Pepsi. It's like, where's the party that is not strongly pro-Israel? Like why isn't there a party that is sort of like, yeah, whatever, who really cares about Israel? Or maybe like, maybe we shouldn't be so friendly to Israel. Like, where's those options? But yeah, somewhere here in the article it says that the reason they are making this claim, and this is just some guy for working for Times of Israel, David Pernick, writing a blog. So that's basically his opinion that for yeah, Harris has suffered real consequences for this, for her support of Israel. Her support among Arab American voters has plummeted, and that of black voters has plateaued. Both Harris and Trump are supporting Israel, but only she is doing so at cost to herself. It's an interesting statement. So it implies that the Trump supporters don't care about this, or like don't see it as a negative. Just like please explain it to me, like Americans, please. Why this obsession with Israel? Like the I guess somebody could use the religious argument, since America is still somewhat Christian country, and all that. But aren't these the people who currently inhabit Israel identify with the as themselves, they identify themselves as the descendants of the people who killed Jesus Christ. So I don't really understand why are Christians so um, obsessed with supporting Israel. I don't know. I just think it's very odd, if you think about it logically. But then again, people are seldom logical. But anyway, let's move on to the next story. And what is that? It's the Hamas leader Sinwar who was killed. Well, it's not like I have a great deal to say about the issue, but well, it's related to the Israel situation, of course, because plenty of people are saying that, like, the Israel side, they were like laughing at him, like, ha ha ha, look at this, he died like a dog and stuff. But then more pro-Palestine people are saying that he's it's a heroic death. He died fighting the enemy, and supposedly even killed some Israeli soldiers while doing it. And while having lost his arm, he threw a plank of wood at the drone filming him and stuff. And I guess, yeah, it's certainly like I can't imagine any like Western politician doing it. Like, I don't really know what was the role of Yahya Sinwar. Yahya, I'm not sure how to say it, but Sinwar is, he waged war against sin. I like his last name. But anyway, so I don't know if he was more like a political figure or a, general kind of figure. Um, but yeah, like you cannot imagine any politicians nowadays, fighting. I recall, from January 6th when the US senators were fleeing in panic when, some unarmed protesters marched into the Capitol building. And yeah, it's different energy. But yeah, here's a picture of him. Yahya Sinwar always carried a pistol with silencer on him that he took from the corpse of an Israeli Mossad agent that invaded Gaza to try and assassinate him. Well, he looks kind of badass here, like some James Bond kind of characters. That is sort of badass. Like personally, I don't know a great deal about Hamas. Like I'm bit ambivalent, but of course, like in terms of the Israel Palestine conflict, is like, well, all of the Western world is supporting Israel, and I don't like the so just looking at the power relations in that conflict, it's like I think it's like I have my Star Wars argument. If you have like a really overpowered empire versus a ragtag group of rebels, and it's sort of lame to use pop culture as references to any actual political issues, but I think it's good way to illustrate the problem, the issue, like. That would this undermanned, undergunned group of rebels really start the war if they weren't forced to do it, like maybe they are the defenders in the conflict, especially since Israel didn't exist 100 years ago. 100 years ago Palestine did. Palestine has been around for like 2000 years or something, at least as under the name Palestine, since it was created by Rome back then. And of course there were people there before the that political entity was created, but still it's like Israel has existed less than 100 years. It's a political entity. And another religious argument somebody might make, because Bible says Israel good, therefore country called Israel good, but it doesn't mean, like if I start a gay club called Israel, it doesn't mean that Christians should start supporting it simply because of the name. That's ridiculous argument. Like, you do realize that people can basically name their groups whatever they want, and doesn't mean that it necessarily means that it's it is like I could start a political party, like the morally righteous party in every issue. It wouldn't mean that we would be actually morally righteous in every issue. you know let's move on. I do sort of like the image. It wasn't easy to get the AI to generate this sort of material, because whenever it's something that somebody could construe as violent or sexually intriguing to anyone, the AI's censorship protocols come into effect. Okay, this is about Elon Musk criticizing the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. Defamation, Anti-Defamation League. Yeah, this it's not also easy to generate images of real people, especially controversial ones. So that's why this picture doesn't look so much like Elon Musk. Okay. So yeah, here's this definition of racism from the ADL website. And please note there are no community notes, so I assume this is an accurate, accurate representation of the ADL website. So it says racism, the marginalization and or oppression of people of color based on a socially constructed racial hierarchy that privileges white people. So basically, racism is only, white people bad. Like, black people attacking Asian people on the streets of San Francisco, that's not racist because it doesn't privilege white people. Or maybe it does. Maybe it somehow helps white people. I don't know. So anyway, then Elon Musk said ADL. He responded to this. ADL needs to stop their anti-white racism now. Like, this is the kind of rhetoric I like hearing from Elon Musk, because there is nothing wrong or inaccurate about this. Because many people have criticized Twitter that it seems to, like, despite its claims that it's a free speech platform, it seems to slant towards um, supporting Israel and related issues. Like, for example, I've seen few examples of some people saying, like, fuck random country, like, fuck France or fuck Palestine or whatever, and there's nothing. But then they say fuck Israel, and then they get note that this is limited visibility because of possible hate speech or whatever it is. It's clearly biased towards certain kind of groups, protected groups. I made a um, I commented on it a few weeks ago on this program or whatever you call it in the Golden News. Yeah, so and I should remind you that ADL was started to protect rapist and murderer Leo Frank, who is of Jewish origin, even though he tried to frame a black man for his crimes, and but then the KKK of all people sided with the black man against Leo Frank. So yeah, just go figure. Let's go to the next story. And more related. Hey, I discussed the issues I find, like, so Ireland is considering banning trade with Israel. This image looks a bit like some, transport tycoon kind of game. But yeah, it's just Israel planning to suspend trade with Israel. So yeah, so Ireland will not wait for EU to unilaterally suspend trade with Israel, PM Harris. Ireland is among EU member states that have been calling for the EU and Israel to hold an association council over human rights concerns in Gaza. Taisach? I have no idea, but I appreciate his name. I don't know anything about this guy except, I do appreciate his really, Celtic old school name. So Taoiseach Simon Harris said on Wednesday that Ireland will not wait for a European Union decision and start the process to unilaterally suspend trade with Israel products originating from the occupied West Bank within weeks. So I guess that's good if it's, I also, if EU is at least planning to do it, that's good. I have my doubts they will actually do it, but and if they do, I guess I must confess I find it a bit sus, because I don't really want to agree anything with anything that the EU does or says. But yeah, just the news, and I guess it's a step in the right direction in my opinion. And let's just move on to the next story. So the Lula, the president of Brazil, gets a head wound. So Brazil's Lula cancels Russia BRICS trip after minor brain hemorrhage from fall. So yeah, there's I think it's like today or tomorrow or something is the BRICS conference starting. Not sure if it's in Russia or yeah, it's Russia. So yeah, he canceled his trip to Russia to the BRICS summit. You know, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and wait, what's S? It's something. It's Saudi Arabia, I guess, probably. Yeah. Anyway, so personally, when I heard about this news, I think it was Kim.com who mentioned about it. No, 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 it wasn't him. I think it was that another story. But yeah, somebody on Twitter just said mentioned this. I thought like, okay, is it really just an accident? It definitely could be an accident. They do happen, especially to old men if he's 78 years old. But just wondering if something else, like maybe somebody tried to take him out or something. Since when his presidential election was it a year or two ago, whenever there were plenty of people criticizing it, saying that there were some irregularities that maybe he shouldn't have won the election. So maybe the Brazilians are getting tired of him, and somebody's doing something to hasten the transferal of power to a new government or something. And also, since we are talking about Brazil, I can mention that the Twitter was blocked on in Brazil for from August 30th to October 8th. So it was a bit over a month, but now it's back. This guy who looks like well, here he looks like some wax cabinet character, but like some bad guy from a Bond movie or something. Some Supreme Court judge he banned, yeah, Alexandre de Moraes. He imposed a block on X. It's interesting. I do appreciate it that the headline on Wikipedia is says blocking of Twitter in Brazil, not X. I appreciate that. You I don't praise Wikipedia that often, but I do appreciate they're calling it Twitter instead of X. So anyway, so yeah, Twitter Brazilians are back on Twitter. That's good, I guess. Not sure what's happened. Is this guy still in power? Did they like fire him or? Uh, I guess he's still in office. Yeah, currently Justice of the Supreme Federal Court. Yeah, so okay, he is still there. Like, too bad he hasn't been fired or thrown into an oubliette or something. I think oubliettes should be brought back. By the way, I like oubliettes. Uh, if you didn't, I guess since we are in Wikipedia, if you don't know what is an oubliette, you should um, definitely educate yourself. Wait, what? Yes, an oubliette is a type of dungeon. Yes, I know. Okay. Yeah, it comes from French oublier, meaning to forget. A bottle dungeon. So it's basically like a hole, and you're down there in the hole. So you basically cannot get out unless somebody throws you a rope or something. I was just, wanting a proper picture of an oubliette. Yes, this one. So you're down here or something. I don't know. This isn't the clearest picture. Whatever. Oubliette, good, cool. 10 out of 10. Let's move on. Oh no, I forgot to title this picture, but whatever. It's some a Twitch streamer banned for her naughty words. So what's her name? Frogan. So yeah, she said that something about like she hopes that U.S. soldiers get PTSD. I'm not sure if she said something even more foul or heinous or whatever. And people are praising it because of Asmongold getting banned for so basically supporting genocide. So and well, basically, I don't. This is the first time I've even heard of this Frogan person. This particular over this particular issue. So I don't know much about her except that she has a very lovely face. Okay, but people are praising it. It's like a good thing, and also people are complaining about Hassan Abi, whatever his name is, that he also should get banned because he's had an alleged terrorist on his show. I'm saying alleged because I don't even know who this person is. Like that he had as a guest on his show, this terrorist or alleged one. But it's what I find sort of annoying about this whole issue is that they're saying they are taking these sides that supposedly right. Yeah, okay. I was just checking that I actually sent mentioned on Twitter I'm streaming in case somebody notices it. But anyways, so yeah, people are taking these sides, like since the left supports Palestine, so if you are anti-left, if you're anti-woke, then you should support Israel. And it's like, why? Why can't you just come up with your own values and judgments? Like don't fall into the red versus blue mindset. Like oh, if these people that I usually agree with say red, then I'm always gonna say red. Or like oh, these people say blue, then I have to choose red, because that's a lot of what I guess I would call it center right people are like. Oh, if the left says this, then it's I have to do that. And since for the most part the left supports Palestine or Islam in general, which I don't really understand either. Why do they do that? Because Islam doesn't really like LGBT and trans rights and all that stuff. But that's another story. But so since the left does that, the right or the center right is more like, well, then we have to support everything Israel does, and it's just why? Because let's get back to the I discussed this already last week, but this is Asmongold's video, what he said about
If you
Palestine.
want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question.
So yeah, he calls them, um, assuming he means Palestinians, at least people who have Sharia law or maybe Muslims in general. He calls them terrible people, and he doesn't give a fuck if they are being genocided. That's what he said. I would say it's advocating genocide or at least condoning it, and I do think he is mostly ignorant, because I don't remember if I told this story last week, but like I recall like over a decade ago, I think it was some football World Cup was going on. Maybe it was 2010 or whatever. Like the one with the vuvuzelas in South Africa or something. Anyways, there was I was just sitting with in a car with the of somebody I know, and it was said that there was North Korea and some other country playing football together, and the guy just said suddenly that oh, somebody should just wipe them out, get rid of all the North Koreans or something, like, because the media constantly tells you that North Korea is so bad, so you hate it even though you don't know about anything about them. And that guy, I don't think he was he's any politically active guy, but he just and in the context, the North Korea wasn't doing anything bad, especially in that context. They were just playing football, but still, it earned the ire of somebody who doesn't know much about world issues, I would say. So I think Asmongold is probably a bit similar, but like so I do have some understanding for Asmongold why he says that. I disagree with it very much, but I do sort of understand. But what I don't like is, like, I've seen many people um, defend him and sort of ignore what he said and the implications, his genocidal implications, because some are trying to frame it as he's just saying, like, "Oh, I don't care about either side of the conflict," and there is an argument to be made for that. But especially for somebody like him, who I think is an American citizen, his government has been funding Israel for decades and decades before he was even born. So in that sense, especially if you are American, it does affect you. Like, your government is constantly sending their money. Like, okay, I do think they occasionally also send money to the Palestinians, but still they're arming and funding the one side of the conflict, definitely. And well, if they're arming and funding both sides of the conflict, I guess that's even worse. They're just fueling the conflict in that case. But anyways, let's move on to the next story. Um, so both Koreas to fight in Ukraine. Wait, where's my articles? So yeah, there are some claims that not here. Okay, here. Yes. My tabs are a bit in wrong orders here, but I do sort of like the image, because I was genuinely trying to create an image of South and North Korean troops fighting each other in Ukraine, but the AI didn't like it and even banned that account for an hour, since I was doing wrong speech or something. So I thought, like, okay, what is Korea known for? Their pop idol group. So then I switched it up to North and South Korean pop idol groups, and then the AI was happy with it. So yeah. Anyways, let's get to the story. So South Korea will send its troops to Ukraine to fight the North Korea's troops supporting Russia. This is slowly becoming World War III. And Shake Shields here comments, I suspect that the history books will say that WW3 already started. Yeah, well, I sort of said already, like when Bush started his crusades, that World War III started, but maybe it's, well, yeah, like, this war maybe is a much more slower in scale than the first two world wars. Like, anyway, then whatever, doesn't matter. But the thing is, I couldn't really find any articles supporting this, except somebody had linked to this below. So it's from Newsweek, I believe. Yeah, Newsweek.com. South Korea could follow north into Russia-Ukraine war. So I guess they are sort of thinking about it in South Korea. South Korean media claimed on Monday, since there are supposedly some North Korean troops fighting in Ukraine for Russia or something. South Korean media claimed on Monday that Seoul could send military and intelligence personnel to Ukraine after North dispatched troops to support Russia in the war. Um, yeah, so a report said the government and military of South Korea are reviewing a plan to send an appropriate number of personnel, including intelligence officers specialized in North Korea and experts in enemy tactics, to Ukraine, citing a South Korean intelligence official. So I don't know. It's sort of funny because, especially if the no, Korean conflict somehow escalates into the European soil, since there have never been Korean troops on European soil in warfare activities since the hyper war. Oh, this is not. Ah, okay. Since the hyperwar. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not supposed to talk about it. Yeah, sorry, sorry. Yeah, forget I mentioned about. Anyways, so yeah, it is interesting if this gonna happen, but I guess for the sake of the world and the future and stuff, it would be good that if these things didn't escalate further. But anyways, and then I just want to make a few comments about Ukraine war. Like, um, I do think this was Kim.com. I think he's at least claimed on Twitter that the Ukraine slash US and EU have lost the Ukraine war already, but they just cannot make it public yet since the presidential election is gonna happen in a few weeks. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it's certainly something worth considering. But personally, when the war started, I just assumed that Ukraine would capitulate in a couple of weeks. Like that would have been the smartest course of action for them. Since just look at what's happened to Ukraine. Like I don't know how many, half of their men are dead, and the other half is in Berlin as prostitutes. Prostitution in Berlin, in brothels, around 50% of women are Ukrainians. Like, is this really what is winning? Like, this is evil. And it's not like, certainly you can blame Russia partially for it, but let's just say, had Ukraine surrendered after a few weeks of fighting or whenever, like I really don't think Russia would have started genociding them or whatever. Like, certainly there would have been some policies that many people would have disagreed with, but not only that, like most of the men are dead, and or great deal, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but plenty of Ukrainian men dead, the women escaping and forced into prostitution and stuff, and there's like videos of like them attacking churches and stuff, like in Ukraine, like some the Ukrainian authorities. So this didn't pan out well for Ukraine, and I could see it 2 years ago. I'm sure I'm not like some Nostradamus. Yeah. So let's just move on to the next story. Okay, this is about Japan. Annoying tourists dancing in the trains and subways and metros and stuff. So yeah, there's this. Yeah. Okay, now you can see this guy, this black guy doing really annoying dances and stuff. Yeah. So, and of course people aren't happy about it, which makes sense. This person says Shiteru Yosore. That's his name. I am seriously angry right now, just like how some people can't understand my tweets. There is a unique culture in Japan, despite that they don't respect it and only impose their own values. To be honest, it's really annoying. Please don't come back ever again. I liked this ending statement. It's very straightforward. I like it. So yeah, Japanese users reacting to seeing the Tokyo Metro being culturally enriched. Yeah, it's the same person. This is so. Come on, work please. Fine, it doesn't load. Okay, I can still read it. This is so embarrassing. If you saw your race behaving like this in a foreign country, you would want to hide under a rock and act like this isn't real. Are ignorant black people just not capable of behaving in public? The people bring shame to the railway People should be just like chimpanzees coming from the jungle. Okay, this is quite harsh. Like, okay, I have to, because these two comments are directed at black people, but it's not exclusive to black people. Like, certainly this guy is more aggressive in his annoying behavior than most, but I've seen people videos of white people doing similar stuff in Japan as well, or in Asia. And personally, I have heard, like, I live in Hong Kong, and I've spent quite a lot of time in Asia. So I have personal experience. Like, one story I heard here in Hong Kong, like over a decade ago, was about a French dude that supposedly run around naked in the metro, in the MTR, oh, in Hong Kong, and I think he even posted a video of it on Facebook or something. Didn't see it. And then there was another story of some Danish guy, and I think he even told it to me himself, sort of proudly, that he did it. That when he was in Japan, he broke into a construction site during the night and used the construction machinery. I'm not sure, I don't remember which machinery, like some digger or some lifting crane or something, because he knew how to operate them, and just started playing around, and I guess it created a lot of noise and the people were angry. So yeah, this is not like a new phenomenon, and not exclusive to black people or anything. So it is like, I personally very much hate it, um, and find it very embarrassing. Like, why? What makes this, like, there's something, because people come from the West, whether they are black or white, and from a more like, they, because Asian culture is more repressive, generally speaking. Maybe they feel like they somehow to express their idiocy in this way. I don't really know what makes people do this, but it is really annoying. But yeah, I have to be fair. It's not just black people. Plenty of white people are guilty of similar actions. Okay, and two more stories to go. So this is about De Nuvo. So the Kingdom Come 2 is coming, I guess. I haven't played the first one. I do own it on Steam. I've had it for a few years, but I haven't gotten around to playing it. It seems interesting. But anyways, but it supposedly has Denuvo, the DRM anti-piracy software that supposedly makes your game work much slower than it would without the DRM. So that's why people are canceling their pre-orders, because they hear there's going to be a Denuvo, and they're just, two thumbs up. Great news. I hate Denuvo. Like, I can understand developers having DRM for making piracy more difficult. I do respect that. However, I don't respect it if it makes the games worse, if it makes the experience for the so-called consumer worse. That is unacceptable. In that case, I would rather support piracy than buying, if you treat your customer like an idiot. So yeah, it says here, it has become known that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will not be protected by the will be protected by the Denuvo anti-piracy system, and unlike the original game, will not appear on the GOG store upon release, which is known for its policy of selling games without DRM protection. Yeah, this is just like, why would you do it? Like, I really, I don't know if it's true, but like, I suspect that the reason DRM seems to have this stranglehold on many games is that there's some, either it's BlackRock or similar kind of hedge fund is buying off basically the companies to have de novo, or is some sort of blackmail situation? Because I don't really understand. Like, surely these companies know that people who know about de novo don't like de novo. Like, I don't know. And then there's other de novo news. So here it says de novo main developer, aka Mr. Exodia, was admin on X-Tools, a forum that specializes in software piracy and recruitment of terrorists, but also continue to create and support tools expressly designated. Damn, my brain is melting. Designated to break DRM. So it is shocking how Mr. Exodia, while working for a company Denuvo that specializes in software DRM, still not only continues to be an administrator at the notorious X-Tools forum that specializes in software piracy and recruitment of terrorists, but also continues to create and support tools expressly designated to break DRM. So here it's a screenshot, Mr. Exodia Square D. As I understand it, Armadillo is discontinued. What kind of features are you looking for? Yeah, I'm not. So I don't know. Like, can't say whether this is verified information or anything. Especially like recruitment of terrorists. I'd really like a note on that. Like, what do they mean? What sort of terrorists? Who is recruiting them, and for what sort of purposes? But it is, if you can, if I get a chance to uh, shed light negative stories about de novo, like, I'm not sure if this might be fake or whatever, but allegedly their main developer is uh, you know active in some suspicious forums. And then there's this oh yeah, this one as well. Yeah, Denuvo opened their Discord server, I guess for improving its image. And I don't really understand, like, who would like who really is like, oh yeah, I love Denuvo, yeah, like I've seen one or two comments like that on Twitter and stuff, but I wonder if they're just trolls or paid shills, like who genuinely like loves the Nuvo. Like, I understand many people don't care about it. They just like, oh, I give my 60-70 bucks, I play game, whatever. But who would go to that Discord forum except people who dislike Denuvo to troll? And of course, it was shut down 2 days later. But I think they reopened the forum or the Discord server. But yeah, I don't like the Nouveau. And then there's this story that allegedly, so the Nouveau main developer. So is it the same? Is it Mr. Exodia? Well, at least it's X Tools. So maybe it's the same guy that he allegedly sexually harassed a 13-year-old girl by asking her to strip naked, dance for him. So this Denuvo main developer is now working in Poland in Wroclaw. He is author of X64DBG debugger and was a former Xtools Vares forum wares forum administrator. They hosted cracked reversing tools. Was contributing unpacking tools for other DRMs. So yeah, here is this email. Don't know if this is fake or not. This might be fake. So that $80 is not enough, even is not enough to even wipe my ass. Don't waste that fine piece of ass you got there. Not to mention a great pair of tits. You don't look 13 to me at all. Yeah, so he has. I don't want to read this out loud because it might make sound too bad. So you know he's asking the 13-year-old girl to do a little striptease for him in front of a webcam with nothing on, no bra, no panties. Yeah, if this is true, this guy should be in jail, probably. So yeah, I do hope some people have looked into it. It's more okay. I don't want to look it because I really don't know if this is verified, but I do think this should be like if it is fake, this also should be talked about and debunked. You know, if it's fake news because it's disturbing. But let's go on to the last story of the week. Sonic remake is censored. So there's this Sonic, was it Sonic Generations or something, and there's a remake of it. So this first picture is this Amy Rose, is this female hedgehog, a young. Her description is a young, cheerful girl hedgehog. Amy can be a bit obsessed about chasing Sonic. She even claims to be his girlfriend. But here it says a cheerful girl. So that was the original. This is the remake. A cheerful girl who loves to help others. Sonic inspired her to be her very best. So yeah, it's a girl wanting to be a guy's girlfriend is haram nowadays. It's women are not supposed to look up to men or whatever, according to the message. And then there's this image that here you can see the original. He's just pushing her away like you're annoying, shut up or something, and here he says he's giving her some cupcakes. You totally got this time. I had no idea. So it's like you cannot give negative feedback to a female, I guess. So you have to praise her at every opportunity. And also point out this is supposed to be a remake. I don't notice any like graphical improvement in this remake. Like if this is the original on top, I think it looks the same or maybe even better than the one on the bottom. If I understand it accurately, because I thought remakes are supposed to enhance the game graphically and technically. But this is just censorship. This is some Soviet gaming. Although I don't know if they censored Tetris. I wonder if the original version of Tetris was something else, and we got the censored version. And then there's still this picture. So the original. Look at this female. You can see a bit of her boobage, but here it's this covered up in the remaster. And once again, I think the graphics look exactly the same. Like it doesn't look improved at all. So what's the point of making a remake if the graphics aren't improved? Like what is going on? Am I crazy? Have I taken crazy pills? Uh, and I hate censorship just out of principle. Like I refuse to support anything I know to be censored. And this is apparently fake news. This is from Metaphor Refantasio, a game that I am interested in, but it has the nouveau, so I won't be buying it. And also, I've heard some rumors there's some woke stuff in it, in addition to this one. But this is supposedly fake news. Here it says before picture, you can see this female character with a decent ass, but here she has no ass. But supposedly, this picture on the left is completely fake. Um, and this is how it's always been. This woman has always been assless. But the reason bringing this up is that why doesn't she have an ass? Like even if it wasn't censored, or like why wouldn't they make her seem attractive and just normal? Because this seems abnormal, like some weird freak. Like why doesn't she have any ass? It's like okay, I can see she has like elf ears. Maybe she's from some weird demon species that lack asses. Maybe there's a good lore reason for this. But personally, like using Occam's razor, that the simplest explanation is probably the truth. It's just that um because of modern audiences, that's probably the reason. And yeah, this is there's nothing here. Okay. So yeah, this is the last story of the week. Um, let's get back here, and I don't know. Do I have to make some summary? Tomorrow I'm gonna start streaming some Halloween appropriate horror games or game. It will probably be Dark Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. But yeah, so I guess the main theme this week was, of course, Israel. Why is America so obsessed with that country? Please explain it to me. Like, let's imagine I'm a time traveler from 100 years ago, and explain it why, why is it so important to them? And I don't know. De novo sucks. Censorship sucks. And hey, Elon Musk did something good. He called out ADL. That's I want to see more of that. But I guess that's it for this week's Golden News. I'm Adventure Argonaut. Thank you for watching, and please follow me on the platform you are listening to me on. Bye bye.